Hi everyone, today I'll show you how to make tres leches, a very common dessert in Latin America. First of all, we're going to start by preheating the oven to 350 Fahrenheit, and we are going to proceed to butter the pan. In this case, I'm using a paper towel to hold the butter, and make sure that I cover the bottom as well as the sides of the pan. Following that, we are going to proceed to add the flour and make sure, again, just like as we did with the butter, we want to have a full coverage of the pan. In this case, I'm using a 9 by 13 inch baking pan. Following, we sift the flour and the baking powder. So we want to make sure that this process is done so the flour becomes a little bit more loose. And also make sure that we add the baking powder halfway the sifting process. I also further blend the mixture with a whisk to ensure everything is homogeneous. Once this is done, we set aside this blend and we proceed to creaming the butter and the sugar together. So we want to do this until the mixture is fluffy and has that light and sort of whitish consistency. We want to make sure that also during this process we probably have to stop a couple of times to scrape the bottom and make sure everything is completely homogeneous. Then once that's achieved, we proceed to add the eggs. Eggs are added one by one, and we make sure to scrape the bottom of the bowl so to ensure that everything is well mixed. Following, we add half a teaspoon of vanilla extract and we ensure to heat well the mixture. Next, we want to add flour to the mixture and we do this adding a tablespoon by tablespoon. So this is done so we don't get any clumps in the mixture. And so we do this until the mixture is well blended. So once this is achieved, we proceed to pour the batter into the prepared pan. This is that we accomplished during the first step of this process. We want to make sure to cover the pan evenly, so pour all the batter and then with the spatula make sure to spread the batter evenly across the pan. Once that's done, then we proceed to put this into the oven. I'm using a outdoor roaster to better handle the pan in this case. So the mixture now goes into the preheated oven at 350 Fahrenheit. And then we proceed to mix or combine all the 3 different milks, and therefore that's why this dessert is called tres leches. So we add the whole milk, in this case the condensed milk. I'm adding extra condensed milk. I'm using 2 cans of condensed milk for this because I am a lover of condensed milk. And then we proceed to add the evaporated milk as well and combine well. And then about 30 minutes, the sponge cake should be ready. So we take it out of the oven and then we proceed to puncture it with a fork. So we do this for 2 reasons. One, we want to make sure that once we pour the milk blend into the cake that it gets well absorbed, and two, this helps to cool down the cake much better. Also, make sure that the cake is completely cooled down before you start adding the combination of the three different milks. So once you start pouring the milk, make sure that you cover most of the cake, and you see in this case the cake is like a floating island, but eventually it will soak up all that milk and will settle. Then we're going to prepare the whipping cream. This is crema chantilly, so it's nothing but whipping cream, sugar, and vanilla. We continue mixing this until the cream has thickened. And one cue for to know when it is ready is when the cream is able to form peaks that stay kind of stiff. So again, just like we did with the batter, we do the same with the cream, the whipping cream, and then we spread it evenly all over the top of the cake, and then with the spatula, we kind of even out the cream so it looks very uniform. So this is pretty much tres leches, but you can add an additional touch and kind of do some decoration on top of that. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to use strawberries. So I'm going to slice them, and I'm going to use this to kind of add a little bit more flair on top of the cake. Plus, I really like the strawberries, and I think strawberries and tres leches is a good combination. So I put 4 strawberries facing the corners of the pan, just as a reference in this case, and then I start filling the gaps, and I do that, walk my way through the center of the cake. So right in the middle of this exercise, I use the skin of the strawberries right in the middle. Just a reminder, cool down the cake right after it has been pierced several times with a fork. You can do that at room temperature, and then you can put the sponge cake in the fridge before adding the milk and the whipping cream. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. Buen provecho.